What is up, guys? Welcome back to yet another anime news bit. I'm gonna get you guys fully caught up on the anime news of today. We have, yes, the unfortunate news. I've been predicting this for a long time, and sometimes I hate being right. But yes, ZOM 100 has finally released its broadcast schedule, and it's not looking good. We also have some updates for Frieren, which I am super excited for. Demon Lord, Retry, and Urusei Yatsura are returning. My Home Hero is apparently getting a live action and doesn't look too bad. And then finally, we have some more interesting responses from Rifujin, the author of Mushoku Tensei, as well as some news around Roxy Get Serious. So if you're interested in any of this news, definitely stay tuned. Kicking things off, let's get the unfortunate ZOM 100 news out of the way. Yes, the official website for ZOM 100 has released their entire broadcast schedule, and it doesn't look good. We have episode 6 is going to be releasing on August 27th, episode 7 on September 3rd. Then they have another week delay. Then they'll come back with episode 8 on September 17th. Then episode 9 on September 24th. So yes, you might be asking yourself, man, usually summer ends with September, so where's the rest of it? Yeah. That's the delay. That's the unfortunate news there. And I've typically told a lot of people that if you see at least 3 weeks of delays within an anime's schedule, they're typically going to have to delay until usually the end of the next season or sometimes the following season. And that's what is happening with ZOM 100. They had way too many 1 week delays, and finally they're not able to fit within the summer schedule bracket, and new shows need to start airing in the following month. So that's typically what's kind of pushes it back. Now, for now, they're saying, yeah, episode 10 through 12, we'll get back to you guys later on. That pretty much means that they're looking at schedules and finding out from all these broadcasters, can we slip it in here? And they're like, no, we have something airing that day. They're trying to find somewhere where they can slip that in there. So that's the unfortunate thing. Like I said before, I was pretty much calling this the moment I think I seen episode 1. I was like, yeah, the PB was nothing but episode 1, and that's a big red flag. And then we had another studio taking over for another episode, and then they had the 1 day delay, which is not too big of a deal. It just means that they didn't get the assets somewhere, but that could mean that they didn't have the proper assets to give somebody because they were running late. And then the 1 week delay started. And I was like, nope, that's it. That's it. ZOM 100 is not doing good. I say all that, but I want to make it perfectly clear. What they've been delivering after those delays is pure gold. So I'm fine with these delays. If they can keep it to the quality they're doing right now, their directing is on spot. The animation does some really cool stuff. It's very creative. So take the time you need, studio. I think this is just a project they weren't ready for. I mean, it's a very new studio, so this is a big project. Every single episode is going to have some sort of action set piece, and that's a lot for a new studio to take on. So, like I said, take your time, keep the quality good, and we'll wait. We'll be patient. Just hopefully it's not an Uncle from Another World situation where it just keeps getting delayed. Everybody's calling out 86. I'm like, no, think more like Uncle from Another World, a very small studio and all that kind of stuff. But anyhow, that's your ZOM 100 news. We shall see how things pan out. Again, we're going to get up to episode 9 at least, and then after that, it's who knows. Like I said, I'm thinking either late fall or possibly a rebroadcast in winter. Moving on, let's move on from that news to Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. I am beyond excited for this. If you're new here, I am extremely excited for this show. Of course, we already had the announcement that they're going to get a 2-hour premiere. And not just any 2-hour premiere. This is going to be a show that's on a broadcast channel that has never really had anime before. It's usually for cinema type stuff. And so there's a good chance that this is going to be a full 2-hour premiere. Not commercial breaks, full 2-hour. Don't know yet, that's not confirmed, but there's a lot of signs pointing that could be a possibility. So just don't expect it, but it's a good chance. And yes, that 2-hour premiere is going to be on September 29th. So it's going to be a decently early starter for the fall season. Crunchyroll's already stated that they're going to have it on that date, so that's fantastic as well. They here recently released a new visual for it. Looks fantastic. I have been hearing a lot of rumors that this is going to be a 2-core. That is leaks, rumors. Don't believe it until it's 100% actually said by a source. I have not been able to find a source yet, so it's not confirmed at this point. But I am assuming that, I think I've heard some people say they're going to be having some sort of announcement next week. So maybe during that announcement, they will announce that. But for now, it's just rumors. So don't take that. But I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. It seems like they're going just crazy with this adaptation from Madhouse. So it wouldn't shock me if it is the case. But either way, if it's a single core, if it's a dual core, Either way, I'm gonna be super happy, and I cannot wait for it. This is like probably easily my most anticipated show since probably Onimai was being announced. I was super excited for Onimai. But we'll see. Moving on from that, the official website for TV anime, Urusei Yatsura, has revealed the second half of the anime will premiere in January of 2024. They released a new visual for it, and they haven't really confirmed yet they're going to be doing the last 2 cores, because they originally said it's going to be 4 total cores. They've already done 2 cores, which were back-to-back, and they had the split season thing, and they might be coming back to do the 2 remaining cores, but they have not specifically confirmed that yet, so we'll see. I'm gonna assume it's probably already. Moving on, some really, really weird news. Some really weird news. You remember Demon Lord Retry? Yeah, I think I'm the only one that does. The official Twitter account for Demon Lord Retry light novels has announced that the sequel manga, Demon Lord Retry R, is getting an anime adaptation. Yes, the sequel manga to the original manga that adapts the light novel. The first season was adapting the light novel. The first manga was adapting the light novel. So they were both adapting the same thing. So they were adapting, but the problem is the anime stopped, and the first manga went a little bit further. Not too much, but a little bit further. But now we're going to get an anime adaptation of the sequel manga. I don't know. I legit don't know. I'm assuming that at some point, maybe there was an argument or a dispute with the original manga adaptation, and maybe they had somebody else take over and make a sequel manga, and that's under a new publisher, and they're wanting to make money for that. I don't know. I have no clue. I did look into the original manga, looking into seeing what all they adapted in the anime, and they... rough estimates, probably around 18 chapters of, I think, like 20-something. So there is a little gap that we're going to have before it goes into the new sequel manga. Like, if you open up Demon Lord Retry R manga, there's a quick snippet of something that we've never seen in the anime. So this is where we're going to have the problem. I don't know what they're going to do with it. There's a possibility that when they open up the anime for Demon Lord Retry R, they may have like a brief what happened in that gap. That's my only hope. I know that a lot of people, I mean, even me specifically, I'm not going to be too bothered by having a little bit of gap. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like this story is some grandiose thing that blows my mind, but it was a decently good show. Now, yes, I admit a lot of my love for the show is because Kendra Suda is the main character and he's the Demon Lord, and give me injections of Kendra Suda all day long. It's just a weird choice. It is very, very weird choice. I mean, I understand why they're doing it. And that's because they want to sell this other manga. It is an advertisement. In the end of the day, it just doesn't make sense to continuity and having that full story there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with this release, but there you go. Moving on from that, the official website for the Concierge anime film has released a trailer and visual. The trailer reveals an October 20th opening in Japan, and the manga centers on a new concierge at the mysterious department store where all the customers are animals. As a concierge, she tries to read her peculiar customers and try to make appropriate recommendations to them. So it looks good though. Visually looks really interesting, very unique design to it. Definitely one that I'm not like super excited for, but it's different. And I'm intrigued by it so far, so we'll see how that turns out. Moving on, yes, the live action strike again. Not Netflix adaptation, not Netflix live action adaptations. Calm yourselves. Yes, a new trailer has been released to announce a live action TV series of My Home Hero. The series is set to broadcast in Japan on October 24th. It's also getting a film opening in Japan in spring of 2024. And honestly, I liked the anime adaptation. I felt like the studio itself kind of fumbled it quite a bit, but it got back on its feet, and I think it turned out to be a really solid series. And it's a series that honestly I really, really badly want to go check out the manga because I think this writer is just really, really good with this particular story. Now, it as a live action. In most cases, Japanese live action adaptations, the big problem that we typically have is that they try to be anime, and it's like overly dramatic. The actors get way too into it, and it typically makes it a little bit to watch. But honestly, the trailer that they have for this looks good. My only beef that I have is that Kasen, the mother, I don't know why, like the pinnacle opening sequence after the whole event happens and she walks into the apartment and stumbles upon what happened. She like fumbles on herself in the live action and I'm like, that didn't happen in the anime. That didn't happen in the manga. Why suddenly she's like, oh no. The only reason that bothers me is because the mother is like, just like a massive mama bear. And that's what I loved about her. She panicked when she's seen the situation. Of course she's going to panic. It's not a pretty sight. Essentially, it's like spoilers for like the first couple pages of the original manga and the anime. The father kills somebody. And the mother walks into the apartment after it happens. And again, she's like, holy crap, what just happened? Is he dead? But in the live action, she's like all falling over herself, like all dainty. And I'm like, that's not her. That's not the mom. I love that mom. She is super good. Super tough mom. So it kind of fills out a character for me. But that aside, I'm sure it'll still be good. I'm sure her role in it's going to be fantastic. And that's totally a director's choice. I'm sure it's not like she went, hey, I'm going to fall over like an idiot. So it's not anything against the actress. But we'll see. We'll see how that one turns out. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe Crunchyroll or something could pick it up to release it over here, but we'll see. Moving on from that, though, Overlap has announced that Seventh Time Loop, the villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy light novel, is getting an anime adaptation in 2024. Yes, another extremely long title, like light novels do. They released a key art for it, and Studio Kai and Hornets is going to be animating it. The synopsis is, being reborn once may sound impressive, but Rifujin is already on her 7th time around. She has had all kinds of excitement in her previous lives, from peddling goods as a merchant to locking blades as a knight, so now she's determined to kick back and enjoy. But to savor the high life, she first has to marry the handsome prince, the same one who happens to be her murderer. It will take 6+ lifetimes of experience and skills for Rifujin to break the time loop and make her extravagant dreams come true. That actually sounds pretty cute. I actually like that idea for a Reborn type anime. Honestly, for those who don't know, I really don't like Reborn type series. The type where they're still in the same world, they just die and they reborn later on. They're typically very, very boring. I mean, there's been a few that have been slightly interesting, but for the most part, unless it's just like a direct isekai or something like that, which that's sort of kind of peeling off for another trend. I've yet to find a show where I'm like, holy crap, this was a good show based on reincarnation alone, not isekai. But this has a lot to it that sounds very interesting. The idea of using all this previous knowledge that they've actually experienced, not just OP abilities given to them, there are things they've actually experienced that make them knowledgeable. But we'll see how it turns out, but it sounds pretty good. For our next bit, yes, we have fall is just around the corner. I know it's scary to think, but we have a lot of announcement for premieres for the shows. We have Shangri-La Frontier is going to be hitting on October 1st. I'm Giving the Disgraced Noble Lady I Rescued, a Crash Course in Naughtiness is going to be on October 4th. Undead Unlock is going to premiere on October 6th. And yes, Aoyuki is going to be in that show, which is great. Under Ninja is going to premiere on October 5th. Finally, we're going to get that show. The Vexations of a Shut-In Vampire Princess is going to hit on October 7th. And finally, Uma Musume Pretty Derby Season 3 is going to premiere on October 4th. So there you go there. And yes, if you're not already, make sure to subscribe, as when we come around, probably about 2 or 3 weeks out of the actual season starting, I will do a full-on preview of my most excited shows, and then we have a podcast where we go through all the shows, give you an idea of what each show is going to be for the next season, and who's going to be working on them. For our next bit of news, Roxy Gets Serious has shipped its final 12th volume, and I could not be more excited to dive into that series. I'm super excited for it. I've had everybody pretty much warn me, don't read Roxy Gets Serious until you read up to volume 12 of the novel series, which is pretty much the end of the second season that we're thinking for the anime. But I have been kind of waiting to see what the final chapters will actually have, because it's got kind of a jump forward at the beginning, and they might have another jump forward at the end. So we'll see if there's any other spoilers in it before I even pick it up. I'm still waiting for it to actually release physically. I think I only have like 9 volumes of it, so super excited for that. I cannot wait to start reading that. Shoko Iwami actually posted a art in celebration of it. It's an art that's going to be included with the final volume at certain locations. And Rifujin even responded in celebration of it, saying, "I really appreciate your hard work, Iwami. Even though I was not able to get involved in the plotting stage, and I had to leave most of the work to you. I think it is wonderful that you were able to create drama in each episode, and that you were able to complete the story to the end of your original plan. Thank you very much." Super cool though. Super exciting to Iwami. Me personally, as a massive Roxy fan, I wish they could just go for, I don't know, 100 volumes. Just keep going. Just do whatever you want to do with Roxy. I'm perfectly fine. I'll consume anything Roxy, but it is what it is. I'll be happy to have the full complete set whenever it finally releases, but super exciting for Iwami. Definitely a great achievement. Which is, yes, I know, very, very sad for all the Edis fan that you guys only got one volume. I fully acknowledge that that is a sore spot for many people. I'm sorry. I'm all for them doing a style like this for Edis. Just do like the old days where she was beating up school kids. I don't care. I'd read it too. And finally, to round things off, because why not, another really funny comment made by Rifujin regarding Mushoku Tensei and the current drama around it. Jokes aside, I actually found this very, very interesting. And to give folks context here, because I'm sure that not everybody's in the know here, Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation's second season is airing right now, and yes, there's a lot of very questionable content in it, including forced servitude, entrapment, all that kind of stuff. And yes, it's causing certain news groups to flip their lid and stand on high moral grounds and tell everybody what they should be not liking. And yes, Rifujin, the author of the novel series, has been made aware of this kind of stuff and the outrage that's coming from it. And originally, everybody thought that he was apologizing for the forced servitude, but he wasn't actually. It was just a mistranslation that certain news groups decided to run with. And yes, I admit fully, I talked about it as well, but I gave two translations, one that was not an apology. But that all said, Rifujin tweeted here recently, "I'm prepared for a lot of things. So much so that I told everyone during the scriptwriting meeting on the first day. Quote, there are a lot of inflammatory stories in the second season. So, let's be prepared." I can just see them sitting around this table and he just comes in and goes, he just sits down and everyone's like, all right, so what should we expect? It's gonna be a good story, right? It's gonna be super fun, right? Yeah, about that. Let's go down the bullet points, bring up the slideshow of what we're going to be expecting to go through here. And what you're probably going to expect people are going to be responding to this thing. It's one of those things I told somebody the other day. It's like, it's really easy for us Westerners especially to get this sense that a lot of these creators in Japan just have no clue how people act over here. That when you sneeze, people freak out. Like, how dare you sneeze? We have a lot of super sensitive people over here. And a lot of people that are trying to push their morals on other people. And so it's really easy to get to this point where you just think that these people are kind of in this bubble. Which, yes, for a good section of Japan, that's the case. They are very disconnected from the outside world, especially the West, and the outrage that we do. A lot of that has to do with the language barrier. They don't know what we're saying. They don't know what we're freaking out about. And it's equally the same. We're constantly trying to figure out what they're thinking. And yes, unless you are a veteran translator, it's hard to get a sense of it. But this is like a prime example here where Rifujin's going, no, I knew it was coming. And I told everybody, be ready for it coming. But yes, he continues saying, I'm seeing some blah, blah, blah in places I didn't expect today. Is this the spread of the fire? Which I wonder if he's commenting on a certain website's review of episode 7, where they pretty much broke down that Rudius did a whole bunch of things that he didn't even do in the show itself. Like, yeah, I'm not making excuses for him grabbing Lenny and Presena. Well, technically in the anime, he only grabs Presena. I'm not making excuses for that. But then, like, tacking on things like he physically assaulted them, which, no, he was defending himself. Yes, he provoked it, but he's still, in the end of the day, protecting himself. And then throwing on there that he's using slurs. And I'm like, okay, I guess. If you want to make that term broad, I know there's people that's making most every single term broad as possible so they can tack it on anything they want to tack it on. And I'm sure that's a case of it. Well, it sort of means that to me. Anyways, the whole point here is that I just kind of found it funny that Rifujin's going, yeah, I knew it was coming. We talked about it in the meeting, and apparently here it is. You just don't care. Anyways, that's all the news that I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoy this news bit. If you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment. Let me know what you thought of the most interesting in this news bit for you. And yes, additionally, if you like Mushoku Tensei, definitely be subscribed, because if it's Mushoku, if it barks Mushoku, I'm covering it because I love talking about it and people love hearing me talk about it. So I'm going to keep doing it. But I'm trying to make sure I cover a lot of other stuff too. I don't want to make the channel nothing but that, because that's a good way to kill your channel. And certain people just don't care about the show, and I know that. Additionally, if you like this content and you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, membership button down below. Greatly appreciate everybody does, and y'all take care.